fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to a latest episode as I review the latest HBO Max film, The Fallout. This is a film that kind of just appeared out of nowhere for me. This is one of those where I caught a trailer for this kind of a week or two ago and then didn't realize it got released on HBO Max until people started to talk about it. So it was definitely something that just kind of crept up on me. But the real reason why I decided to check this film out is because of the lead in the film, Jenny Ortega. I really like this actress. I think she's got a promising future. She was in Scream from earlier this year. She was also in You Season 2, among other things as well. Also, you got Maddie Ziegler, Niles Fitch, for anyone who watches This Is Us. Maybe people will know him. You got Julie Bowen from Modern Family, Shailene Woodley from, the Divergent series. So a pretty solid cast overall. The main premise of The Fallout is high schooler Veda navigates the emotional fallout she experiences in the wake of a school tragedy, and relationships with her family, friends, and views of the world are forever altered. And that's basically what the crux of this movie is you have Veda, played by Jenny Ortega. She, it's a normal day at school. She's making plans with, her sister and stuff like that. And she goes into the bathroom where Mia, played by Maddie Ziegler, is applying makeup. She's kind of like the Instagram model kind of girl. And in the midst of them in the bathroom, a school shooting occurs, and they are basically having to hide in the stall during this horrific 6 minutes. Not knowing whether or not the shooter is going to come in and kill them next. And the rest of the film is basically kind of the fallout of these events, hence the name, where you're going through this roller coaster ride with these characters, with Veda and Mia and Niles Finch's Quentin, and also Will Romp's Nick, these four high schoolers. That some of them rise up and want to make a change because of what happened, and other ones are mourning siblings who died in the thing, and then others are really kind of not knowing what to do and not knowing how to act and how to mourn and have survivor's guilt and grief for everything that's happened. And you go through these roller coasters of emotions, mainly through Jenny Ortega's Veda, with the way she is around her family now, and the way she is with her sister, her mom, her dad, her friends, how she's developed this brand new friendship with Mia, who was someone that she kind of, scoffed at because of her being an Instagram model, and find out that there's more to Mia than what she realized, and this friendship develops between them. And as the movie goes on, a lot of this is just not Veda not knowing how to deal with everything that happened and everything that goes on with a situation like this. And she's going to go through these moods and these decisions that she makes throughout the film. Jenny Ortega does a phenomenal job in this. I think this movie really shows that she has the ability to be a star in Hollywood. Now, she is the lead in this movie, but I feel like this movie, because it's an HBO Max release and because it wasn't getting kind of big word of mouth, a lot of people might ignore this film or not check this movie out. I strongly suggest that if you are a fan of Jenna Ortega, definitely check this movie out. She is a powerhouse through this film. There are some moments her character makes that you make you go, don't do that, but she does a brilliant job navigating through this ordeal and these emotions that the Veda character goes through. I think Maddie Ziegler does a very solid job as Mia. Niles Finch as Quentin is great. Lumi Pollock, who plays Amelia, who's Veda's sister, she is playing kind of like that younger sister who's all about TikTok, and she is at that age where she doesn't think about what she says, because she just kind of wants to just ask 1,000 questions, and some of the questions are really something that she probably shouldn't be asking. But the relationship between Amelia and Veda is so strong, and when this situation happens and there's this separation between the two, Lumi, I think, plays the Amelia character beautifully. You see the hurt that her sister's not the same anymore. And you can kind of see the pain that she feels because she doesn't know how to react. She doesn't know how to deal with Veda anymore. And to the point where she feels like it's her fault. And these fears that kind of overcome her. Same thing with Julie Bowen as Patricia and John Ortiz as Carlos, who play Vader's parents. Both of them have these moments in the film with Jenna Ortega's Veda that are incredibly well done. Shailene Woodley plays like the psychiatrist Anna. She only really has 2 scenes in the movie. She's good in it. I don't think we needed her in the movie. They could have gotten anyone for these 2 scenes, because I feel like that her being there, you kind of, because of who she is as an actress, you expected her character to matter more and to have more kind of substance in the film, but she really is there for 2 scenes and that's it. I think they could have gotten someone else for that. But this is definitely not a movie for everybody. I know a lot of people are like, you describe this movie, it's like, oh, well, that sounds like a fun film. And you're right, it's not a fun film. There are some fun moments when Veda and Mia just kind of let themselves go and kind of embrace the moment. Sometimes it's when they're taking drugs. But those moments are nice, because you're finally seeing these characters that are, just shocked by everything that was happening to them and to everyone around them, and having these little brief moments of just clarity and are able to let themselves go. And then, then and the next day they're, mourning and feeling horrible the next. And these, like I said, these emotions and the way they go through this, I think is done brilliantly through the writing and also acted. Now, there are some dialogue that's kind of cringy. For anyone who watched 8th Grade, great film, but some of the dialogue is very, and that's because it's of the age of those characters. And the same thing goes with here. There's some dialogue that for me was kind of cringy, but it made sense for the characters in the movie. I just didn't prefer to hear that. Like them saying lol for LOL and saying YOLO, and it's just like, But that's just a personal preference for me. But it fits the characters in this role. And ultimately, at the bottom line, this is a beautifully well done film. Incredibly well acted by everybody. Like I said, it's not everyone's cup of tea. If you're not in the mood to kind of feel bad watching these characters go through these struggles, this is not going to be your kind of film for you. But if you can kind of watch this more for the performances and the story that they're telling, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with what you get, and you're going to see a rising star out of Jenna Ortega, who's already rising. I just think this is solidifying her as someone to keep an eye out for in the future. So definitely a strong recommendation if you guys have HBO Max. Definitely check out The Fallout. Just be in the right headspace for it. Don't expect something, fun, because it's definitely not a fun movie, but it is an important film in terms of seeing how kids of these age, going through this, goes through these trials and tribulations of like I said, survivor's guilt, grief, mourning, and everything in between, and how it affects not just themselves, but everyone around them. Going to my overall score, I'm going to give The Fallout an 80%. Definitely worth checking out. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, you can follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, we've had reviews for Netflix's Home Team. We also had a Jackass franchise retrospective with Brian Michaels and myself, where we went over the first 3 Jackass films before Jackass Forever gets released here later in the week. We will also have a review for Jackass Forever when that comes out Thursday night. We will also have our very first episode of the Movie Crusaders Chat About, where we basically talk about certain topics. This week it's going to be why Brian and myself, why we love movies, why we do this, why do we enjoy talking about movies, reviewing movies, talking about it with you guys here. Next week we have our big monthly special video dubbed Happily Ever After, where Ryan and I go over 50 movie rom-com couples, and we decide whether or not they are still together after the credits roll, or whether they're part of the 50% of divorce rate. We have plenty more shows coming out as well. Moonfall also comes out this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that or not by this weekend, but if I do, there will be a review for that. Next week, we also got movie releases for I Want You Back and Marry Me. So there's a lot coming down the pipe here on Movie Crusaders, and I hope you guys check them all out. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.